Ranger ban followed by a Nubrak. Two pretty meta heroes for the most part. I'm not quite sure if there's any target bans or anything going on. We're still pretty early in the season, so I wouldn't be surprised if teams are not quite familiar with what everyone else is playing right now. Johanna banned as well. So as far as meta takes go, we still have ETC, we still have Diablo, we still have Garrosh. Definitely Garrosh, probably one of the stronger tanks on this map. His early game is pretty strong, and the first objective here tends to snowball pretty heavily, especially with the XP lead. Nexus cast stole our portrait, so we stole theirs back. Okay. Apparently, there's some portrait theft going on in these games. I'm not quite sure what that's all about. So first pick, Gina for Nexus Cats. Answered with a Kel'Thas and a Diablo. Definitely Kel'Thas, Diablo, pretty solid heroes left in the draft right now. We're trying to stay on a tiny point. Kel'Thas's Living Bomb is gonna give you a pretty sad time. And obviously Diablo just a really strong tank here. He does kind of struggle to find the Qs into the walls on this map. Most of the team fights tend to happen in a pretty open area. But Tyrande, Leoric getting picked up. Still no main tank for Nexus Cats, but they do have the Tyrande now. So I imagine we probably might see a Garrosh with ETC. I think if I was Die for Vision here, I'd probably be looking to ban out the Garrosh with the Jaina Tyrande. That's a lot of burst damage follow-up. Definitely a more scary tank than the ETC in this situation, I think. But they do ban the ETC. What do I know? Maybe they know more than I do. Oh, the teams know each other? Okay. Yeah, it definitely seemed like in the lobby chat there was some playful banter going on. And the Ana getting banned out for Nexus Cats. Definitely, honestly, kind of surprised that hero made it this far into the draft. I know at least in the games that I play, she tends to never make it past the first set of picks and bans. But Rexar Anduin gonna fill out the front line and the healer for Die for Vision. Definitely Rexar gonna be able to do a lot of work against Leoric. Pretty one-sided matchup, if I do say so. In the Anduin, there isn't a whole lot of synergy with his light bomb, but his other ultimate that I can't remember the name, a Circle of Protection, I think it is. Not a whole lot of interrupt, honestly, for it, but Varian Kerrigan picked up with what looks to be a main tank Varian, maybe a taunt, I'm not quite sure. But the Kerrigan with some pretty decent follow-up potential is going to be pretty scary on this map. That being said, the ability to sustain Kerrigan in these team fights isn't quite there. She kind of has to get stuck in, and especially against the likes of Kel'Thas, Hanzo, Diablo, Rexar, it's a lot of CC, a lot of damage. She's not going to be able to stick around for too long. But, you know, she can definitely still go into the Ultralisk, get a little bit of that CC follow-up with the Tyrande and the Jaina. The Varian, it's going to be a lot of lockdown onto a single target. So we'll see how that goes. I definitely think Die for Vision has the stronger draft here, just on paper. But we'll see if they can make use of this Varian. We'll see if Nexus Cats can make use of this Varian composition. Interesting stuff. You can cast Life Bomb on Misha? Yeah, I guess you can. I mean, The thing is, Misha's like, her just mobility is not that great, right? So like, if you're getting this giant Misha light bomb, it seems like Misha's already like stuck into a team fight, and you're in a pretty good position already. Not that that's a bad thing necessarily, but it seems a little bit win more if you had to ask me. But I do think light bomb's probably the pick here. There is now a decent amount of interrupt, like even the Kerrigan E can interrupt the circle of protection, and obviously the Tyrande stun. But who knows? So on the left side, we've got Arthano on Jaina, Shadow Guard on Leoric, that guy on Kerrigan, Mark Zombie on Varian, and Lulu on Tyrande for the Nexus Cats. And then Die for Vision, we have Atlas on Rexar, Sulfide on Kel'Thas, Leonidas on Diablo, Shambot on Anduin, and I can't see that name, Casey on Hanzo. So nothing super out of the ordinary in terms of talents. We have Varian going Lion's Maw, which is pretty typical for the taunt build. Everything else seems pretty standard for the Storm for Kerrigan. She's going to be hiding in the top lane up here. There's definitely a lot of heroes coming up. She needs to be a little bit careful. But this Soul Lane matchup, Leoric, Rexar, is probably going to be okay for Leoric for the most part. He should be able to at least just wave clear and stay safe. But the longer this game goes, the harder it's going to get for him once Rexar gets a little bit more of his damage. So right now, neither team prioritizing their turret. This is generally a camp that you see a lot of teams pick up right away the first moment it's up, just so that during that first objective, you're able to capture it again, and so you have 2 turrets. But neither team really focusing. You can see now Nexus Cats is doing theirs, and Die for Vision is going to rotate down as well. So we're just going to have this nice little dance, soaking the lanes. Kerrigan just doing a really passive job up here in the solo lane. She knows that if she gets ganked, she has no means to escape into her towers. At least nothing that can save her. She can drop a W, and that's about it in terms of keeping herself alive. She's got to be real careful up there. Little bit of an experience advantage for Die for Vision. But both teams are doing a good job of making sure they're stepping the waves. Meanwhile, the Orc just holding his own down here in the bot lane against Rexar. Actually, a really good W that's going to probably force a tap from Rexar. Hanzo needs to be careful. That's a taunt. Varian has level 4 now, and he does get the jump over the wall, but I don't think it's going to be enough. He smartly drops his turret, but the Tyrande Lunar Flare comes out, and she actually almost gets picked by the turret. Interesting. I do think that maybe if Hanzo had reacted a little bit quicker with his trait, he could have got out there, but he didn't see that rotation coming. The taunt and the Jaina damage was definitely enough to secure that kill. You know, that's super interesting. Like, we saw Kerrigan being super passive up here in the top lane, making sure she wasn't getting ganked on, and then it's actually Nexus Cats that ends up getting the gank on Hanzo on the top side. But level 7, nowhere to be found for either team. Die for Vision has taken that siege camp and is going to do a little bit of work in the top lane, so I think we'll see Nexus Cats maybe give up this objective while they clear that. But Varian has gotten caught out here. He's going to be alright, but definitely going to take a good chunk of damage. The Orc, meanwhile, also taking some damage on the bottom side. But Jaina has cleared the top, and they've actually kept the camp for themselves. And they're going to rotate down and maybe look to get on this point. Maybe drop the turret step forward, since the turret was used for Die for Vision. They do have that to kind of make their team fight a little bit easier. Unfortunately, Jaina has the turret, so getting it in that aggressive spot where you normally want the turret that forces them off of the objective isn't going to be quite as easy. But I would like to see them throw that turret down sooner rather than later, if nothing else, just to get this channel going down. A lot of damage coming out to Leoric. He's going to get charged by Misha, and he's not going to be able to make it out. Everyone on the side of Nexus Cats is pretty low. The turret comes out, but it's kind of too little too late. And I can't help but feel like that team fight maybe could have been a lot easier if maybe it was Varian or even Leoric who had that turret. They could have placed it in a little bit more strategic position a lot earlier into that engage. But the first Punisher is here for, our first Protector, excuse me, is here for Die for Vision. And they're going to focus down this front wall. This is the general strategy we see a lot of teams do. They kill the front wall in the mid lane, and then they rotate up and try and get this front wall and maybe even the well for the next objective that is going to be in the top lane. I sent Leoric bottom to catch some up and some XP, and Rexar will follow him down there as well. Barry needs to be careful. He's getting poked out for a lot of damage. Ooh, Tyranda's actually very low, and she does fall to the Protector right before it gets taken out. Definitely not ideal, but they do manage to get the well up here. Anduin is definitely not making it. Oh, maybe he is, but he does get the kill on Kerrigan right before he falls. And looks like Die for Vision is going to continue to siege up here. They have a little bit of a minion wave, and Jaina's kind of low on mana, so there's not much that she seems to be able to do about it. The Blizzard does come out, clearing the minion wave, which is going to force them to walk away. Diablo takes actually a couple tower shots, but he's going to be okay, despite his healer being dead. And now we're back. Level 10 is almost here for Die for Vision. I imagine they're going to try and pick this up and then make either a play onto the invade the turret camp of Nexus Cats, or maybe make a play for this heal camp at the top, and that seems to be what they're going to do. They do have all 5 heroes here. Leoric has rotated up, and it looks like Nexus Cat maybe wants to fight for this. I don't think they can. They don't quite have the heroics yet, unfortunately, and they do realize that, and they're going to give up that heal camp. It's not a huge deal. Definitely not something you can't win a team fight without. And both teams going to rotate to their turrets, just playing super safe. And the heroics are here. And, as a matter of fact, it is the Ultralisk for Kerrigan, like we were talking about earlier. So, keep an eye out for these, entombs into all the CC. Definitely something that's going to be very important. And Varian is looking for a pick on Hanzo, but he doesn't quite find it. A lot of people are actually going to get picked. Kerrigan steps forward for a combo, but it's not going to do her any good. She's going to fall. And I think Jaina might go down as well, but no, she stays alive. The turret is dropped. Diablo is taunted. He's taking a bunch of damage. The Starfall comes down, but the heal camp was dropped, keeping him up just a little bit. 1 hero for 0 in favor of Die for Vision. But the fight's still going on. The turret's still choking away at the minion wave. But Diablo is so low, it's going to be so hard for Anduin to sustain him all the way up, considering he does have his souls. And honestly, it might be a pretty big deal. He's not Devil's Due right now, so the tap isn't actually going to help him out. Yeah, he's going to have to back, and I'm not sure if Nexus Cats realizes this. They are going to be a little bit aggressive and make sure they get on this point, knowing that Diablo probably had to step away for a second. And as far as items go, I do believe with that heal camp and the turret being dropped, it's pretty even on both sides. Yeah, no items for either team. Definitely level 13 almost here for Die for Vision. I think I would like to see them play a little bit more passive, maybe get that level 13 before they fight. But that being said, they're going to walk in. They do find a lot of damage onto Leoric, but he is going to be okay. Meanwhile, the Ultralisk on the backside is chunking away at Diablo's health. And unfortunately, it's going to fall without being able to do much. Leoric getting caught out. He does have his E, but it's not going to be enough. Huge damage coming out for Kel'Thas, and 2 heroes are going to fall. Maybe Tyrande as well, but she seems to be alright. Diablo with the charge. He does get the flip on Varian, but he has his W. He's going to make it out. Misha falls for his troubles. And the W comes in probably, honestly, a little bit too late. And the Ring of Frost comes down. Man, how did that cooldown not get burned earlier? Regardless, definitely a good fight for Die for Vision. They end up getting a couple picks and maintaining the point. And that's going to be charging up. But level 13 here for them now. Diablo going into the extra damage on Q. It's going to be definitely do a lot of work, especially onto the Leoric. It's going to be a little bit harder for him to be as aggressive as he has been. Looks like Nexus Cats are going to move for this healing camp. I don't know if anyone's going to be able to contest it. Diablo does come in, and this is going to be a forced fight without level 13. I don't think there's anything that Nexus Cats is going to be able to do about this, and definitely a really, really good invade for Die for Vision. They realized, hey, wait a minute, nobody's on the map. Where are they? They're at that heal camp on the bottom, and they're going to lose 3 heroes for it, and the Protector as well. Lyric going back down to Soak for 13. I can't help but think that this is maybe what they should have been doing in the first place. Maybe grabbing that heal camp before they were 13 and so close to where they knew all the heroes for Die for Vision, where it was maybe a little bit of a greedy play. Nevertheless, Protector's here. It's going to walk down, looks like, to the bottom lane, if I had to guess. Maybe they'll stop by for the mid fort along the way, I'm not sure. But again, this is just that kind of snowballiness that we were talking about earlier, where you get this one Protector and you can kind of set up your lane for when the next objective spawns. In this case, it's going to be on the bottom lane. So I think they'll grab this fort and then probably head down there. And that is exactly what they're going to do. Nexus Cat's doing a good job of just kind of giving up their structures, making sure they're not losing any heroes. This bottom lane is kind of where everything matters. 31 seconds still left on the Protector, and Leoric's still doing his best to soak for Nexus Cats. Fountain does go down, and I think they're going to get the fort as well. Kerrigan kind of gets caught out, but she's going to be alright. The boars are coming out, and the slow into the Ape block doesn't find Jaina. She has the ice block, but the Dragon Arrow is there, and Jaina gets deleted. Varian is probably going to be able to make it out unless Diablo has the flip, and he does, and he is going to fall. Front wall is going to get taken out, I imagine. They're just going to continue this push with 2 heroes still dead for Nexus Cats. And I'm not sure if they're going to be able to take this keep. Everyone is back up. Specifically, Jaina is going to be on her way in just a second, but they are going to manage to curse it down before Nexus Cats can respawn. And they're going to move straight to this turret camp and get that going as well. Definitely a level 16 talent tier. A little bit too much for Nexus Cats to be able to handle. But Lyric has been doing a pretty decent job making sure he can soak for his team. He's at 10,000 XP right now, which actually is not as much as Rexar, but he is doing his best. So turret camps picked up for Die for Vision. They now have 3 items, it looks like. The 2 turrets and the heal camp, and they're moving for a second heal camp, and this is just so many items for them. Honestly, I can't imagine how they are going to be able to lose this game at this point. They're so far ahead in terms of XP that even once Nexus Cats hits 16, they're going to be so close to level 20 that they can just sort of afford to not take a fight for a little while. But Nexus Cats do find their 16, maybe. It looks like Rexar's trying to stuff out of rotation. Diablo comes through. The Misha follow-up is there. Varian still has his W. He should be able to make it out okay. But the Dragon Arrow comes through. It's not going to be able to secure any other kills. But Varian is definitely going to get picked. And dang, that whole exchange happened right before Nexus Cats was 16. I think they picked it up as they were retreating, but definitely a very good rotation, and Jaina kind of getting a little bit too greedy there on that defense. Is going to stagger a death and going to make it really, really hard for Nexus Cats to be able to get back in this game. And again, still a turret and a heal camp for Die for Vision. And I think they're going to push for core. Jaina's still dead for 23 seconds. They can drop the turret, get a lot of damage going. Heal camp gets dropped on the backside to sustain their team. There's not going to be much that Leoric or Kerrigan and Tyrande can do. But it does look like they're walking away, interestingly enough. The turret was never dropped. Kel'Thas is the last one out. The light bomb comes out. And he's going to get saved by the Anduin trait. Definitely... oh, the Ring of Frost is actually huge, but it's going to be too little too late, unfortunately. 3 heroes fall for Nexus Cats, and it looked like Die for Vision was backing off. They were going to maybe rotate down to the objective and be a little bit more patient with this game. A big Kerrigan combo, but again, she has no sustain, no help from her team. She's just going to get deleted. The turret is still there. Finally gets dropped. And this is going to be game 1, going to Die for Vision. Yeah, it looked like maybe they were backing off, and Nexus Cat said, hey, with this, we're level 16 now, we want to force a fight. Despite the fact that there was still that turret for Kel'Thas, they said, this is our chance. Unfortunately, just didn't go their way. Maybe